有想过结婚生孩子吗？
Have you ever considered getting married and having children? I haven't. I never thought I would have children. What if your parents say you should get married and have children? I would respond by saying that they can think whatever they want. After all, I can support myself in the future. If it really doesn't work out, I can adopt a child. Although an adopted child is not biologically related to me, that's not a problem. The important thing is that I treat him well, and when he grows up, he will treat me well in return.
没有钱的话，该不该要孩子？
Do you think if you don't have money, you should have children? I don't think so. Why? Because if you don't have enough financial resources, how can you support a child? In my opinion, raising a child means giving them the best education. If you can't even support yourself, how can you raise a child?
支持就是现在的年轻人不结婚不生孩子。
Do you support young people today not getting married or having children? I think it's natural for young people nowadays not to get married or have children. Everyone has different ways of living, and marriage is not the only path in life. There are many goals in life. Some people feel that finding a partner, settling down, and having children makes their life complete, but they might end up getting divorced shortly after. Some things should just happen naturally. If you haven't found the right person, focus on your work and strive to earn money. Our generation might not be able to keep up with your way of thinking, but even if you don't get married or have children, I still hope you live a good life.
未来结婚了，你想生几个孩子？
If you get married in the future, how many children would you want to have? I definitely won't have children. Then if you don't have kids, are you being fair to your husband? It doesn't matter. As long as I'm being fair to myself, it's fine. Which do you think is more important for a man, being handsome or having money? I think it depends. You have to look at the whole picture. If he's too ugly, having money doesn't help. Do you prefer darker-skinned or fairer-skinned men? The key is whether he's handsome and if his height meets my requirements.
你会选择生孩子吗？
After getting married, will you choose to have children? No, I won't. Why not? Because I don't like kids. So, you won't have children your whole life? Definitely not. I really don't like kids. Aren't you afraid of what others might say? I'm not afraid. My family is very supportive of me. Would you spend money on a man? Yes, as long as he's handsome. So, unattractive men can't pursue you? I'll consider both handsome and less attractive men. Do you intend to date multiple people at the same time? No, I'm not that kind of person. I prefer monogamous relationships, and I treat my relationships with sincerity and authenticity. How many people have you dated simultaneously? My dating circle is very small. I only date one person at a time.
非常的可怜他们，因为
I genuinely sympathize with today's young people because I feel they are under immense pressure. You see, some young people choose not to get married, while others opt to raise pets instead of having children. The cost of sending children to extracurricular classes is high, isn't it? If all your earnings go toward these expenses, what money is left for yourself? I once asked a waiter about his working hours. He said he starts at 7:30 in the morning and finishes at 10 o'clock at night. Think about it, working such long hours every day, earning only a few $1,000s a month. Our work hours are already long, and now with overtime until 10 in the evening, many people don't want to get married or have children. If someone is busy working all day, where do they find the time and energy to take care of their family, parents, or even grandchildren?
小孩吧都想要多一点，但是生吧你养不起。
Regarding the issue of having children, we both feel that the current pressure of life is high, and we are afraid that we won't be able to afford it. It's not just me who thinks this way, but also my wife. Previously, my parents had been urging us to have children, and in the past 2 years, my wife's parents have also started to urge us. However, we feel that the cost of living in Shanghai is too high at the moment, and the pressure is too great. We haven't bought a house in Shanghai yet, just one in our hometown, but there is still a mortgage to pay. We also want to buy a car, but the economic pressure is great, so we haven't been able to buy one yet. If we want to have a child, we hope to give them a better life and not let them suffer like us. We are still renting a house now, and after deducting rent and living expenses, there is not much money left. I feel that many young people are facing this problem, not just us. Although we got married relatively late, in our hometown, many people got married in their 20s. We have been in Shanghai for a long time and want to continue living in this city, but the pressure is indeed very high. Some people suggest that we can have a child first and then let our family help take care of them, but we also want our parents to come and take care of the child together. However, both of us have to work, and we don't have time to take care of the child. I think this is the mindset of many young people nowadays, especially outsiders like us. In Shanghai, we hope to give our child a good education, but without a household registration, issues such as schooling will be difficult to solve. We are from Zhengzhou, Henan province, and we are not planning to have children yet. We want to wait until our finances are more stable before considering it. Our generation is living a very difficult life, and we don't want our children to suffer like us. I'm already 32 years old this year, and I need to consider this issue, but honestly, our pressure is really great. In the past year or two, we have also been planning to have children, but we haven't been able to make up our minds. In the past, people may not have had so many thoughts, they just wanted to make sure their children were fed. But now it's different. We hope our children can have the same good education and economy as other children.
最讨厌的是穷人为什么还要去生育？
I detest the idea of poor people having children. So, if our generation chooses not to marry and have children, won't the problem of population aging become more severe? But why should I care about all this? I'm 24 years old this year, a university graduate. I tend towards pessimism, and I absolutely will not have children. Why am I so determined in this belief? Because marriage implies a lot of responsibility and survival pressure. What I resent most is that poor people still have children, because it may make the children feel inferior, and they will have to spend their lives healing their wounds. Sometimes, parents also exert a lot of pressure on you, demanding that you meet certain standards. Although the economic situation of our parents' generation may not be as good as it is now, they still raised us. Perhaps we are making raising children too complicated now. They enjoyed many benefits throughout their lives, including the hardships experienced by their previous generation. But I don't think that's right. Aren't you worried about being lonely when you grow old? I don't think there's anything to worry about. You've lived almost 50 years, what's another 20 years of suffering? As long as you earn enough money, everything will be fine. To be honest, I am somewhat selfish. I care more about my own feelings and don't want to suffer.
I am a post-2000s. How do you view the phenomenon that young people nowadays are not very willing to have children? Perhaps everyone is paying more attention to themselves now and is not willing to be constrained by family. They may tend to have more freedom in their thinking. If you get married in the future, are you planning to have children? I won't have children. Why not? Because I lack confidence. I feel that I may not necessarily be able to raise this child into a useful member of society. Do you think your life would be better if you didn't have a baby? Not necessarily. Everyone has their own choices. I choose not to have children and live my own life. But having children can also bring a lot of happiness. It's just a different choice, and neither is better.
In China, young people nowadays are reluctant to have children. This mindset is actually correct because people strive to make their lives happier. Why should population growth be viewed from the perspective of labor force? Chinese experts often discuss the issue of the disappearing demographic dividend and thus encourage people to have children. This starting point is fundamentally flawed. You need to understand, is having children for the sake of making people happier? Absolutely not. If someone believes that having children is a great source of happiness, then advising them to have children is right. But if you think about the issue from the perspective of human resources, it's not about considering their happiness at all. How can they accept it? They definitely won't accept it. Just like many young Chinese people today are unwilling to get married, they face three major pressures. The first major pressure is the uncertainty about their future. It's like climbing a mountain without knowing if they can get over it, while carrying heavy burdens. How is that possible? The older generation in China did not have this concept because back then, companies were stable. Although life was poor, it was secure, knowing that after a few years they could buy a TV or a motorcycle. These were certain. But now, even if young people have 300,000 yuan, they dare not spend it because they don't know how they will live tomorrow. They might get laid off the day after tomorrow, so they don't dare to bear such a burden. The second pressure is that young people in China now see life more clearly than the older generation. They know that the pursuit of life is happiness, not goals imposed by others. They first need to figure out if they are happy, then consider things like continuing the family line. Many young people haven't figured out their own happiness, so they won't consider other things. They understand very well that personal happiness is more important than continuing the family line, unlike the older generation who vaguely accepted all responsibilities. The third pressure is the lack of confidence in raising children, not knowing how to be responsible for them. Besides providing material life, they also need to educate and nurture them. Young people now understand that raising children is not as simple as it seems. The older generation in China often said that having more children is just an extra pair of chopsticks at the dinner table, and the younger siblings could wear the older siblings' clothes. But that's not possible now. They feel they can't be responsible for their children and are unwilling to let them wear old clothes. This is not because their material pursuits are higher, but because their sense of responsibility is heavier. Since they can't take on this responsibility, many people prefer not to take it on from the beginning. This way, there is no risk to society, which is better than taking it on and then failing. In fact, young people in China do not dislike children. In reality, humans are naturally fond of children and hope to have their own. But now, they dare not have children because they dare not take on the responsibility for the next generation. This reflects their lack of security in their own lives. In this situation, their enthusiasm for having children naturally decreases. In modern society, young people first need to make a living and then get out of poverty and become wealthy. This is a very arduous path. In this context, they do not want their children to repeat the difficult journey they have gone through. To solve this problem, several fundamental issues in Chinese society need to be addressed: education, healthcare, housing, and elderly care. These are the most basic livelihood issues. If these problems can be well resolved, young people's enthusiasm for having children might increase. What do you think? Feel free to leave a comment below and join the discussion. That's it for this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. We will continue to provide you with truthful reporting. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time.